This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Will Wonderful World. In the last episode, Alicia and Chang, one had to deal with sitting in surveillance while dealing with ice cream runs, while another one was trying to pretend to be a prostitute to kill a warden. Both succeeded with the help of God. Now it's time to continue their tale, as now one's trying to snipe a guy and get a black box, and the other one is trying to figure out how to save his companions from a fire that somehow got caught in there. So let's see if we can mess with. Whoa! What the? Seriously? 12? Game? All right. Anyway, at least she has a reasonable 8. Good lord. All right. Well, let's. How do you get 12 from this? Oh, I guess just variations on the same thing. I guess. All right. Well, I guess that makes sense. All right. Let's do this. All right. Let's just do the whole, nothing on one side and something on the other, and kind of get both at the same time. The officer from Unit 3 broke into the apartment, and they found Officer Min Jun. They also found me unconscious. I had apparently passed out at the bathroom door after inhaling too much smoke. Smoke is bad for you, kids. We were rescued from the fire. When I finally woke up at the safe location, the first thing I did was tell the people around me that Lieutenant Chang was still behind the jammed bathroom door. He was passed out inside, but it was already too late. They told me that the fire had been put out for a while, and they found a burned body in the bathroom. My target, the president of Shilan Corp, Liang Zhilong, had not been in the room. However, he was only part of the mission. I had an even more important task, which was to find the box that he had. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the box either. I had spent a long time searching for it. He must have hidden it somewhere that wasn't in plain sight. I could have had more time if it weren't for a bomb that had been placed in a closet by someone. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. It was already too late when I heard the ticking sound come from inside the closet. The closet suddenly exploded. The flames had erupted from it, engulfed everyone in the room, including me. I am the dead. Well, doing nothing. Well, good men fail and all that fun stuff. Would that get anything if I just take out one thing? Nope, yep, it sure does. Well, maybe it'll be easier to get his thing more than I expected. I never expected though to have recognized the body that just rolled out of the closet. It was Officer Min Jun. The fire was getting worse in the room. Whether it was because I inhaled too much smoke or the temperature had gotten too high or that I was in too much of shock, I felt myself unable to think anymore. But I could remember that Lieutenant Chang was still in the bathroom. I saw him after I climbed in through the broken window. I had to save him. I ran towards the bathroom. Right then, I heard a crisp crackling sound of something collapsing. A cabinet over 2 meters tall fell in front of the bathroom door, blocked my way right before my very eyes. My knees crumbled and I knelt before the cabinet. I was unable to breathe in the heavy smoke. I slowly collapsed in the burning temperature. I began to lose consciousness, and I died. The guard who had broken into the office caught me inside. I jumped behind the couch, listening as cover. I had hidden 4 guns and hundreds of bullets in my janitor's uniform. That's impressive. That's almost like adventure game worthy of impressive, like how you did that. Well, you gotta hide him somewhere, right? What was it? Hide him in your booby traps? I was going to claim my victory. I pulled out the first game and aimed at the big man standing at the door. Then the closet in the corner of the office suddenly exploded. Flames. Okay. Or the flames engulfed everyone. I wasn't sure if there was gonna be something different on that one. Okay. Come on. Oh, I keep pressing reset by accident. I hate when I do that. Alright. Let's see. Okay, now we gotta start figuring out some different combos to this to could just do the whole one on the other side, but I don't know. Let's just kind of mess around for a bit. Probably get quite a few by just placing stuff around and around. Around and around we go. I smashed the window of the bathroom. The shattered glass fell on an unconscious man. I turned him over. It was Lieutenant Chang. I left the scene to Lieutenant Kim and drove Lieutenant Chang to the hospital as fast as I could. Fortunately, Lieutenant Chang was mostly okay. The doctor said he had some serious alcohol poisoning. However, that was only the beginning. The next day I went to visit the lieutenant, who was still in a coma, but a bunch of men from Unit 3 kicked me out at once again. They told me that Officer Min Jun's body had been found in Lieutenant Chang's home. They had reason to believe that Min Jun was murdered, and that the lieutenant might be heavily involved. From now on, they're putting him under 24-hour surveillance. I couldn't believe my own ears. Damn it, I should have examined the room more carefully. The autopsy had been concluded. The entire investigation process was under the complete supervision of Unit 3. It would be too late to look for more clues at the scene now. The body that just rolled out of the closet was on target. The President Shilong Corp, Liang Zhilong. Someone had gotten him before I could. What I couldn't understand was why his mom was tied to his body, because the guy's a dick. I think we've read that before. So much more powerful. But I hesitated for too long. The bomb had erupted, a glorious monster of fiery blossoms. It swallowed everything in sight, including the room and me. Dead. Oh, rank B. But rank B is when one of them dies and the other one's... Oh, so many more to go. So many more to go. Alright, anyway. Alright, what am I on now? Okay. Just trying to figure out my options. Alright, let's look. Let's see. Try that. No, that didn't give me anything? Okay. Just making sure. Could do the whole one. Oh wait, no, I've already done that one, haven't I? Alright. Let's try... That gets us something. I recognized the man lying on the floor. Officer Min Jun's eyes were wide open. There was a dark brown stain near his chest on his dark-colored shirt. The blood had already dried. Judging from the amount of blood, the shape of it must be a gunshot wound. The fire was getting worse in the living room. I covered my nose while looking around, but I could barely see anything anymore. The flames were now licking the clothes of Officer Min Jun's body. I couldn't just leave him here. I carried his body out of the fire and handed him over to Lieutenant Kim, who had been waiting at the door. The fire had become too big for us to go back inside. We had to wait for reinforcements from the firefighters. We waited until the firefighters put out the fire before we went inside the apartment again. We found another completely mutilated body in the bathroom. The next day, while I was still lamenting Officer Min Jun's death, I heard another piece of shocking news. The second body was Lieutenant Chang. Dun dun dun. I held onto the rope with my right hand and slid all the way to the ground to the outside of the building. A couple of people had seen me while I was dropping down and let me... I'm not in the room. Report task, box, couldn't find that. I spent a long time searching for it. Must have hidden it somewhere it wasn't in plain sight. I could have more time if it weren't for the bomb placed in the closet by someone. I busted through the window as soon as I heard the ticking sound coming from the closet door. But it was already too late. I couldn't feel anything in my left hand. I looked down to where it used to be. Man, she seems to lose her hands and arms quite frequently in her stories. Yeesh. Kind of reminds me of the comic where Joker gets like superpowers and Batman basically ends up getting killed like every day in 1,000 different ways or something like that. And it's pretty gruesome when you think about it. Even though the comic itself isn't gruesome, it's just the idea of it, you know, Joker doing whatever he does to Batman to basically screw him over or kill him or whatever, you know. So anyway, yeah, I would be afraid of a madman who had it out for me and got, you know, super crazy powers, you know. Alright, this should get us something delicious. I smashed the window of the bathroom. To my surprise, I found Lieutenant King passed out on the bathroom floor. Even more surprisingly, when I carried the lieutenant into the living room, his foot accidentally bumped the doors of the closet, which was not open. Then a body rolled up from inside. I recognized the body. It was Officer Min Jun. It had only been a few days since we last saw each other. Never would I ever imagine that I would see him again like this. I couldn't think anymore, so I had to leave Officer Min Jun to Lieutenant Kim at the scene. I drove Lieutenant King to the hospital myself as fast as I could. Fortunately, Lieutenant King was mostly okay. The doctor said he only had some serious alcohol poisoning. However, okay, then it's kicked me out. I think he murdered him. Damn it! I hadn't had time to check on Min Jun as I had to rush Lieutenant King to the hospital. The autopsy had been concluded. The entire investigation process was under the complete supervision of Unit 3. Okay, so I got that. My target was supposed to be in the office, already found. So. Black metal box. I got lucky. I accidentally found the metal box that Ray had asked me to find when I dropped down to the floor to get away from the heavy smoke. It had been glued to the bottom of the couch. After leaving the office, I dodged in the security cell where again there was almost nobody in it. I was wearing the janitor's uniform and calmly started walking down from the 33rd floor. It was probably one of those uniform janitor's clothing where it was just like a one-piece suit with a zip up, and that's pretty much it. I got down to the 5th floor. 4 security guards, followed by someone in a doctor's coat, walked past me and climbed up the stairs. The person in the coat looked a little familiar, so I turned my head and took another glance at him. Then I realized he was looking at me too. Probably the other assassin. And then I remembered he was the doctor summoned to check up on me at Yishiga's mansion. Or that Mother Yishiga's entire household had been wiped out, and everyone in the underground world knew that the Black Dragon Gang had done it. Yet nobody dared to say a word about it. After all, Money Gio was merely a money man who had no other connections or support. Nobody knew that there had been any survivors from the fortunate accident. But if anyone were to survive, that person must be deeply involved with the Black Dragon Gang. If the doctor had recognized me and told anyone about my presence, Shinlan Core would be able to connect the gang to their boss's death. Ray would be in serious trouble. We were getting further away from each other, one step at a time. This uneasy feeling kept dripping from my heart, like a leaking water tap, one drop at a time. I made up my mind before they were about to disappear at the corner of the stairs. My dagger cut through the air like a silver lightning bolt and went through the doctor's throat. Even though he didn't rat you out for when he was putting the bottles and all that. Anyway, in this next second, 4 bullets left the silencer of my gun and took out the others in the stairwell. I gave the doctor who had saved my life one last look. He was lying on the stairs with his left hand over his chest. I never learned what his name was, and I would never got a chance to ask him. I closed my eyes, shook my head, and turned around. Way to treat your saviors, huh? Well, you treat Ray fine. I guess he's hot. I don't know. That's the only reason I'm thinking. It was too late when I suddenly realized something had just my back. A cold, familiar, yet strange sensation kept pushing forward through my skin, through the gaps between my back ribs, through my heart. Probably got stabbed. Falling through the gaps between my front ribs and my skin in front. My dagger had missed the artery by just a little. The tiny bit of burst that remained in my heart had turned out to be my fatal mistake. I watched as the blood dropped out of my arm and fell down the stairs, clanking the whole way down. I reached out, attempting to catch it, but it couldn't. That's a bee ring ending? Interesting. So I got multiple bees with him. So, well, only 6 more and a couple more with her. So I guess we're not doing terrible in this whole thing. So, all right. Let me see if that did something. That's obviously, I mean, basically, if that one's there, that's obviously a clue to get a better ending for her. We just gotta figure out what's the best combo. I wonder if it's just all of them. It might be. Who knows? I heeled into the rope with my right hand, descended all the way to the ground floor from the outside of the building. It's been going well for me tonight at first. I had accidentally found the metal box the raid asked me to find. And then go to the bottom. When I was about to escape through the window, the guards had broken into the office fire and hit me in my right hand. They tried to drop the box and leave Liang's office. Every mission relies on skills 70% of the time. The rest of it depends on your luck. Radiant taught me that. I was out of luck for tonight. Later that evening, informant informed me that the target, Liang Zhi had already been killed before I even got there. That meant that there had been someone else who had the same plan, the same intentions as Ray. Perhaps they had been looking for the metal box, too. The next day, I snuck into the building again, but the black metal box was nowhere to be found. I recognized the man lying on the floor. Officer Minjun's eyes were wide open. There was a dark brown stain near his chest on his dark-colored shirt. The blood was already dried. Oh. I think we've seen this before. Why would it be here? Where on earth was this place? What happened to him? Huh. Who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how. I looked around the living room. A lot of empty beer bottles scattered on the floor. Most of them were empty. Some of them were not empty, though. The beer had spilled all over the place. There were still a lot of burning candles on the floor, too. What's up with you people and burning candles? Lieutenant Chang is passed out over here. Lieutenant Chang is passed out over here. I heard Lieutenant Kim's voice coming from the bathroom. Lieutenant Chang? Why was he here, too? I got back up and walked to the bathroom. When I walked past the dresser in the living room, I noticed it knocked over a picture frame. I flipped it over. It was a photo of Lieutenant Chang with a woman in her 30s. Hot. Lieutenant Chang looked much younger in the photo. He even seemed a little shy. Both of them were in the uniform, with their guns holstered. I couldn't look away from the woman in the photo for a long time. Then I finally remembered. Don't get a boner here, dude. She had been the previous lieutenant of Unit 2, Jagal Siak. Jagal Siak? A legendary figure in the Busan Police Precinct. She was a beautiful woman, but more importantly, she was considered to be better than any of the male officers on the force. She was famous for being incredibly courageous and decisive. She was the idol of almost every young police officer. Even during my days in the academy, a lot of my classmates had her photo in their private collections. That was how I'd recognized her. The photo had obviously been taken before she'd been killed in the line of duty. Oh, well. You know, you'd either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Lieutenant Chang looked like he just joined the police, too. Perhaps he's a fan of hers, too. There was nothing strange about that. Nothing strange at all. So this must be Lieutenant Chang's home. Why would Min Jun's body be here then? I suddenly remembered the anonymous tip. I was starting to get more and more suspicious. Officer Min Jun had been shot. He was still in his undercover outfit, which I'd seen a few times. I went back to check on his body, and there was nothing else in his pockets, but I did notice a keychain attached to his waist. I heard Lieutenant Kim walking over from the bathroom. He must be wondering why I hadn't responded yet. I quickly took the keychain off and hid it. Hiding evidence, are we? Please, Buddha, please bless me. Bless me so I can find the truth and avenge Officer Min Jun. That's his S rank, so Min Jun dies in the S rank story, huh? Interesting. Yeah, alright. Okay, so then we got at least one more for like S rank purposes, but we still want to try to find everything if we can, so. Alright, let's move some stuff around. Let's see, maybe we see what we're possibly missing. Maybe it's just an order. Okay. Well, that'll get her S ending at least that way, and then we can just kind of figure out the other endings for Duder there, so. I held onto the rope with my right hand to sit. Okay, that's also. Oh, I also carrying a black box in my left arm. I'd accidentally found the box. Glued to the couch. Although Liang Zhilang was nowhere to be found, Ray had instructed me the mail box was my priority. The guards broke into the office just after. I escaped through the window. I could hear directing their whole team to go after me. But it was too late. I started my motorcycle and went into full throttle. Minutes later, I arrived at the back alley behind Melody Hall. Ray opened the box in front of me. Where we go have a. I don't know why somehow him opening it reminds me of Pulp Fiction for someone like a glow. We're not actually not gonna find out like what in the in the box or whatever. But well, anyway, sorry. Inside the box were 2 cubes the size of palms with different markings on them. He gave me a reward after he made sure the items were intact. What type of reward? Don't answer that. After that day, I had a dreaded tattoo to put on my stomach. That's kind of hot. If you're into tattoos, anyway. I'm not a fan of tattoos. The whole body is a temple thing, but hey, if you want to get tattoos, cool. He said that I took that mark. As evidence, I truly become his. Become his, huh? You're his girl, huh? Well, I mean, she was saved by him, so she has an infatuation for him, so it's not too surprising, actually. Okay, so we got the rest ranks, but now we got to try to get the rest of their things. Oh, goody. Alright, well, let's figure this out. Obviously, a lot of it's just going to be slight different placement. So, let's see. I'm surprised I didn't get as many as I did from just randomly moving stuff around. Let's see. Let's try that. Okay, that gets us one. I recognize the man. Okay, dark man. Where I did that. Before I could check any further, the officer for Unit 3 had already followed us here and pushed me aside and started examining the body themselves and taking notes. It was a little strange. I was the one who received the tip in the first place, but the scene would now have been overrun by Unit 3. Damn Unit 3, they're like rats. Soon the CSI unit arrived too. Still couldn't quite accept Officer Min Jun's death, as the guys from Unit 3 wouldn't let me near the body. I had no choice but to run around the living room. When I walked past the dresser in the living room, I noticed a knocked over picture frame. Okay, woman, hey you. Oh, hey you, don't touch anything. Yes, you. Men from Unit 3 kicked me out of the apartment. I had to stand by the door and watch them carry Officer Min Jun's body away in a body bag. Put him in a body bag! Even more bizarrely, they'd found Lieutenant Kang passing out of the bathroom due to alcohol poisoning. I only found out that later that the place had been Lieutenant Kang's apartment. So the difference is usually you get a bit more info about Lieutenant Kang in that storyline, huh? I guess that makes sense. Did I do one where there's like nothing on his side? I don't think I did actually. I get so wrapped up in one thing that I forget to do my basic idea. No, it was in the bathroom. Girls in the bathroom. Or, I don't even know how that song goes. A lot of empty beer bottles scattered on the floor. Most of them were empty. Some of them were not empty though. Okay, that's the same. Bring candles. Okay, heard that before. Ran the bathroom. I ran to the bathroom. Lieutenant Chang looked extremely pale. His lips were purple and he was unconscious. I had no time to wonder how on earth Lieutenant Kim ended up here. We drove into the hospital immediately. The doctor told us Lieutenant Kim had suffered from alcohol poisoning. Thank goodness we got him here in time. We had been a little bit later, the consequence would have been severe. Lieutenant King survived. However, we left so hastily that we didn't notice an unusual thing hidden in the living room at the time. The next day I went to visit the lieutenant. I was still in a coma, but a bunch of men from Unit 3 kicked me out once again. They told me the officer Minjun's body had been found in Lieutenant King's home. They had a reason to believe that Minjun was murdered. Okay, that's similar. Okay, that's just it. So it looks like Minjun, which we almost hardly got to know, basically got killed. So oh well, he's not a main character, so I guess it doesn't really matter in this case. All right, so we've got multiple B's. Man, that's crazy. Okay, so let's see. A lot of this is at this point it's really just kind of me guessing really what I need to do. Let's try this combo. I didn't think I'd done that one yet. I smashed the window of the bathroom. Actually, I think we've done that before too. The shattered glass found a unconscious man. I turned him over. It was Lieutenant King. It was a burning inferno outside the bathroom. Smoke was coming inside from underneath the door. The temperature had also risen to a significant degree. However, thanks to Officer from Unit 3 who had broken in from the main entrance, I managed to carry Lieutenant King out of the fire. He was then brought to the hospital in the ambulance. Fortunately, Lieutenant King was mostly okay. But the shocking piece of news came out when Master Minjun's body had been found in the burning out apartment. His cause of death was determined from blood loss from a gunshot wound. Since the apartment had been fired was Lieutenant King's home, he'd become the key suspect. Damn it, how did everything turn out like this? If only I'd been more careful, maybe I could have found some more useful clues. Well, you suck as a detective, dude. No, I don't know. Alright. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's try say this. Okay, that's good. So we're just missing one more. I spent especially in the bathroom, unconscious man, Lieutenant King. Different degrees. I tried to carry the lieutenant on my back, retreat the way I come in, but the fire outside had burned down the support beams and the ceiling collapsed. The bathroom window was completely blocked. I couldn't even call for help. The main entrance to the apartment was the only way left. I opened the bathroom door. The heat rushing in almost made me feel like I was being suffocated. The room outside had become a chaotic mass of black and red. I felt so familiar. I remember the same chaos when I'd been 7 years old. There was a person who was carrying another person. I was still a coward who couldn't do anything but cry. Yeah, a little crybaby. If it weren't for a big brother passing by and bravely carried me out of the fire, Chang gone men would not even be here at all. Except now you're probably going to end up, turn what comes around goes around type of thing. I had never learned the name of the person who saved me. I could barely even remember what he looked like. The only thing I could remember him was something he said to me. He said, "This is my justice." The apartment was crumbling around me. My breathing became heavier and heavier, and my steps were getting slower and slower. Eventually, I wasn't able to get out of the way when a dresser tipped over on us. Flames were looking at our bodies and couldn't even feel the heat anymore. Why couldn't I do it? Well, it's for justice. Oh, well, we get a trophy for finding out why you wanted to be a cop, apparently. Well, there you go. So, one reason to find all the different endings, if anything. Let's see, what do we got? One more. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a combo I haven't done yet. Let's see, we already done one on all her side, and the fact that we already found out all of her bodies. Anyway. Trying to think. How about that? Trying to think. Maybe. Oh, maybe a different order. Aha. Oh ho. My kung fu instincts from my Shaolin training were telling me that I could not stay here any longer and that I needed to go as soon as possible. Accomplished by the sound of shattering glass, I landed on the ground steadily. Then I saw 2 cars stopping in front of the apartment building. Every person coming out of the car was an officer from Unit 3. The image of Officer Minjun lying there with his eyes wide open was still imprinted in my mind. How did he die? Why was he there? Why would Unit 3 show up right now? And what about the suspicious anonymous tip? There were too many puzzles I wanted to discuss with Tin Can King when I saw him. Never would I ever guess that the next day I'd learn an even more shocking piece of news. The lieutenant died too. They put out a warrant for me saying that I had become a fugitive. Most of the worst ending is basically he was blamed for both killings. This case had so many ties to the Unit 4, I turned into a wild horse charging down a freeway. I had no longer had any control of the situation. Perhaps I should not have just run away. Maybe things would have been different if I had just stayed. Maybe it would have. The end. Well then. This is Jimmy, right? How did it end up like this? How could Officer Min Jun be dead? Carlos, what have I ever seen again? Stop! Stop! Exclamation point. Oh, it was just a nightmare. No, it was more than that. Everything had already happened in reality. But I have tried everything I could. I thought it was raining. However, everything outside looks exactly the same when I first woke up after losing my memories. Oh, we're getting to know more about God in this episode. The sky is still red. Snow keeps falling down. Snowdrops keep falling on my head? No. Even the snow looks red, perhaps because of the light. There doesn't seem to be anybody in the building on either side of the street. Where are we anyway? Just like God World or something? Anyway, there aren't any people in the street. There aren't any animals either. No small birds, no little dogs, nothing. There aren't even any trees or grass. The rain only appears in my dreams. It's never stopped snowing outside the window. Is this what the God's world looks like? I wonder what the humans' world looks like right now. You're up early. What time is it now? 4 o'clock in the morning. It's only 4? Nothing seems to change outside the window. I can't even tell whether it's morning or not. The human world has day and night, right? How do we have that? That's because we live in a different world. Really? I want to go for a walk outside. I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Dave. Why not? To us, there is no outside. Everything you see from the window is just an illusion. An illusion. Magic. This house is all there is to our world. Are you telling me that everything that I see outside the window is fake? That's correct. Everything outside is fake. Even the house that we are living in right now doesn't really exist. All this is built by our combined imagination. Our world and the humans have no intersections at all, not in time nor in space. Well, can we go to their world at all? By teleportation, for example, like you did earlier? Or maybe there's a door of some kind that could open any other place you want to go to? Why would you want to go to the real world so much? I haven't been feeling too well recently. This job, it's not like our first imagined it'd be. I thought I could give everyone a perfect happy ending. Yeah, life ain't like a box of chocolates. But tragedies keep happening one after another. Maybe it's because we keep bothering in their lives. Actually, some people just unfortunately just naturally have tragedies happen to them, as messed up as it is. I don't know what I have done wrong. It says you got an S rank, means you did the best you could. But your best just wasn't good enough. Do I not understand them well enough because I'm not human? Or is it because I'm not familiar enough with the world so I can't understand the consequences of my decisions? I don't know, you had a fun time with the cat thing. So you want to go there and witness their lives for yourself? Yes. Unfortunately, we're unable to go to their world. Besides, we don't really need to. We are gods. All we need to do is fulfill the human wishes. It's not our duty to create a wonderful world based on our judgment. Wow, way to be a pal there, dude. Just kind of blowing her concerns out the window. It's almost like you're trying to deflect the situation. No, you're not. We put too much kindness in you. That's why you're overthinking it. No matter what decision you make, the humans will accept them. Simply because they don't have any other option. True. They don't even know what's going on. We're gods. How can we be so careless about their sincere wishes? Because we're gods? Humans never understood what they want, ever. They get themselves in trouble, but they're afraid to take responsibility for their actions and their choices. That's why they always hope the gods can fix everything for them. Yeah, that's kind of true in some cases. God will help me. God will bless me. They're nothing but a bunch of cowards and losers. Whoa, dog. Telling it, dropping the mic, huh? As long as we help them resolve their immediate dilemmas, we have done our job. As for the other problems that lie in the future, those have nothing to do with us. The bottom line is this, even if we don't help them at all, they have no right to complain. After all, we are gods. They are just mere humans. Therefore, no matter what you do, you're always right. You will never be wrong. But I understand it might be a little difficult for you to accept this right now. You should just take a nap and get some rest. Yeah, forget all your worries and your cares. Just let it all drip away. We talked enough today. I'm gonna make us some breakfast. Willy. What are you thinking? Was I really overthinking things? A bunch of dots. Well, maybe I do it. Maybe I have to do it myself. What do you mean? What do you mean? We're not gonna know, are we? At least not for now. Well, looks like some interesting questions are popping up from this tale of the girl who has to be God. But we can't keep thinking of that for now. We've got plane, trains, and automobiles to deal with. So in the next episode of Will Wonderful World, we'll see what Park's up to. Looks like a lot of time's passed for him. Maybe he's escaped his prison or whatever. And what Chang is doing now that he survived the fire. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.